Welcome in, everybody. It is the Dependent Fanatic here, and I am here to tell you the resume ranking for this week. And it has changed drastically, just like most weeks. Now, we are getting closer and closer to playoff selection time, and only 3 undefeated teams remain. Only 8 one-loss teams remain. The SEC has 5 of the 16 two-loss teams that remain, so they have depth, but will it matter? How many teams can they get in? Let's go through the resume ranking for Week 13. I'm going to give you the resume rank, the team, their record, their wins versus quality teams. And this week, 54 teams remaining are quality teams. So, of those teams, who had the most wins versus those teams, and that's how this ranking is formed. Here we go. New this week, I'm going to give you their remaining opportunities. That's Iowa State for number 26, Kansas State. Now, that's not going to get them into the playoff, but it's a good remaining win for them. They are down 10 spots from last week after losing on Saturday night. And Washington State also lost on Saturday night. They are down 10 spots to number 25. They're 8-2. A good win versus Texas Tech, but they have no remaining opportunities. They're in the Pac-12, a team of 2. Number 24 is Tennessee in the resume ranking this week, down 6 spots from last week. They beat Alabama, but their only remaining opportunity is an SEC championship. And then number 23 is Arizona State. They are 8-2. They were not ranked last week. They beat Kansas State on the road this past Saturday, one of them epic games, a great Saturday. But they do get to beat BYU maybe and then have a Big 12 championship. Clemson is number 22. They were not ranked last week. And they won on the road at Pitt. That is their only quality win. But they have opportunities where South Carolina and then whoever they'll play in the ACC championship game if they beat. It doesn't matter about South Carolina because they're going to be in. All right. Let's move up. Let's move up to Ole Miss, shall we? Just to get all these teams that weren't ranked last week that are ranked now in this resume ranking. Wow. James Madison is number 21, 8-2. They have that win versus North Carolina on the road. Can they beat Marshall? Can they beat Marshall twice, possibly, to win the Sun Belt Conference? That'll be interesting to see. But they're nowhere near a playoff. All right, number 20 is Syracuse, unranked from last week, 7-3. They have that Miami game coming up this week, this season, at the end of this season. South Carolina is now number 19 after beating Missouri. What a game that was this weekend, wasn't it? I thought South Carolina won, and then Missouri went down and scored a touchdown to take the lead, and they got the 2-point conversion to go up by 3. And then with like a minute and a half left, South Carolina went down the field and scored their own touchdown with 15 seconds left to win that game. Wow. Their only opportunity, though, left is at Clemson. They have no opportunity to win the SEC. Texas A&M, which is a team that South Carolina beat, so you could put South Carolina ahead of Texas A&M if you wanted to, but Texas A&M is 8-2, and they have quality wins versus Missouri and LSU. They have opportunities left Texas at home, and then they could win the SEC. Iowa State is number 17. They have wins at Iowa and Baylor. They could beat Kansas State at home and then win the Big 12 championship. If they need help to win that Big 12 championship by BYU and Colorado, but it is possible. All right, number 16 is Tulane. They are 9-2, and it's the only mistake I made on this entire page. The only scribble I have right there, that 8 turned into a 9. Yes, Tulane is 9-2. They have opportunity versus Memphis, who is in a 2-loss team themselves, and then they are already clinched to play in the American Conference Championships. They could win that. Mississippi is number 15 on the resume ranking. They have them quality wins, as you see there, but their only opportunity left is to win the SEC championship game, and that is only if they get into it. All right, we're going to move up here. The top 14 teams. Penn State dropped 5 spots after demolishing Purdue. What can you say? That some of their wins that used to look good don't look good anymore. They dropped 5 spots. Their only quality win is Illinois at home. They do have an opportunity to win the Big Ten title. Number 13 is Army. They are 9-0. They have Notre Dame, and then they can win the American Conference Championship. Navy, I crossed out Navy there, as you can see. That's my second scribble. Dang it. That's the only one, so if they beat Navy, then that is no longer a quality win, so that's why they are scribbled out. Number 12 is Indiana on the resume ranking. This is the ranking of deserved teams. And their way down there, they moved up 1 spot, but they're 10-0. They have no wins versus 4-loss teams or better. None. Boise State is just on the inside of that threshold, down 4 spots from last week, but they're still 9-1. They have them wins versus Washington State at UNLV, and they beat. They have the Mountain West Championship game to look forward to. They better win that. Number 10, Miami. After their loss to Georgia Tech, they had a bye week this past week. They moved down 2 spots. They have the game at Syracuse that could be a opportunity, and then the ACC championship game. All right. Texas is number 9, up 5 spots from last week. Even though their only wins are Colorado State and at Vanderbilt, it's not a great resume, but that Texas A&M game at their house is looming large now. And then the SEC championship game is possible for them. Georgia's number 8. They beat Texas on the road. They beat Clemson on a neutral site. They beat Tennessee. Their remaining opportunity is the SEC championship as well. Number 7 is Colorado. Colorado is now 8-2. Deion stands are reacting and very happy, and they have the Big 12 championship game looming. If they win that, they are in the playoff after 1-11 from 2 years ago. Joel Klatt will be proud. Number 6 in the resume ranking, down 1 spot from last week, is Ohio State. They have Indiana at home, and then they have the Big Ten championship game. Those are their remaining opportunities. Now, BYU dropped 3 spots. from number 2 to number 5. They lost to Kansas, and that is the only loss in my picks against the spread this week. I had 4 of them. I hit on the first 3, and then BYU couldn't score that touchdown in the end, and Kansas beat them. But their resume still is number 5. You see there, they beat at SMU. They beat Kansas State. They beat Baylor. They have at Arizona State coming up, and then the Big 12 championship game is possible. Oregon is number 4, down 1 spot again. They were number 1 2 weeks ago, number 3 last week, number 4 this week. They keep dropping as they keep winning. They're 11-0. All their great wins are at home, so that's holding them back, and no remaining opportunities other than the Big Ten championship. SMU is number 3, up 1 spot. They are 9-1. They are undefeated in the ACC. They beat TCU, they beat Louisville, they beat Duke on the road, and then they beat Pitt. They have the ACC title game coming up. That's possible. All right, number 2 may shock a lot of people, and that is Notre Dame this week in the resume ranking. They had that horrible loss to NIU at home early in the season, but since then, they are dominating teams. You see their wins there. And then they have Army is their only remaining opportunity left because they do not play in a conference championship game, and that actually could hurt them. You see all the other teams around them, their opportunities going forward. Notre Dame could be hurt by this, but if they win out, they're going to make the playoff. And then number 1 is Alabama, same from last week. It surprised me last week. It still does. Wisconsin is no longer a quality win after losing to Oregon, even though they almost beat Oregon. Fair is fair. That's not a quality win anymore. They have 5 losses. Alabama's 8-2, but the wins above replacement. They have 3 quality wins above the amount of losses that they have. And that is gigantic. Can you beat teams? With the schedule that you have, can you beat them? And their only losses are, at Vanderbilt is still a quality team at this moment. And then they lost to Tennessee, who is another quality team. So SEC is not exactly the greatest, but they're the deepest. And Alabama has the deepest and best resume in Week 13. Their only remaining opportunity, though, is the SEC title game. So in the next couple of weeks, I can see them dropping in this ranking, just like Oregon did. So there you go. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's a volatile season here at the end. Everything all of us college football fans wanted, right? We don't know what's going to happen. So thanks, everybody. Like the video, share, subscribe. What do you think of this ranking? Let me know in the comments below. And have a great day out there, everybody.